Great morning, everyone. I got a little music for you to start off with. Some of you will recognize this. When the balcony's right here behind me, I'm going to crack the door. Got a special message for you today. Someone needs to hear this today. Good morning. Just dig it. Let it groove. Got a great message for you today. All right. Good morning, Jenna. Good morning, Daniela. I have a great message for you today. Let this song kind of wash over us. And I'm not on the balcony. Well, it's if you listen closely, you might hear some pitter patter. I love the rain. I don't know if anybody's like me, but the rain does something to me. I don't know what it is. Man, I slept really good. The weather cooled off. And I'm thinking about this message today and eager to share it with you this morning. I want you to get this. And we'll talk about what's next. And I will do my best to pan around, but this nice rain is coming down. Today, I want to talk about grace. I think it's a great message today. I think many of people have gone through a tough time. Good morning. Let me just say good morning to you. Kitten paws. Pitter patter, kitten paws. I love the rain too, especially. I love a rainy night. There's a song about that. Let It Rain. Great song. Okay, well, somebody put that song in there. We got to do a song of the day. Put the song in there. Somebody can grab that song. And the rain to me is like a cleanse. It calms me. I allow it to calm me down. There was a time I didn't. I'd want to be doing stuff. It's raining. It's raining. But now I let it kind of wash over me and let it speak. Listen. Just be in the moment and get something. Get something right now. So this morning, I'm talking about grace. Grace is such a powerful, powerful word. And think about what it means for you. And this morning, I want you to think about grace for yourself. Grace for yourself. And I will open it up by writing down one of our Eddie Rabbit. Yeah, Eddie Rabbit. I love a rainy night. What's our mantra? We know the mantra. Before I write it down, what's the mantra we always say in our community? What is it? Somebody will type it in. I know for me personally, I did not have a lot of grace for myself because I wasn't taught that. I was taught that if you make a mistake, people die. Because my dad was matter of fact, it's Memorial Weekend, so I'm going to honor my dad. Matter of fact, I'm heading to the cemetery today. I got some flags, whatever. I'm going to get there. And there you go. Thanks, Mandy. There it is. So I'm going to type it. I'm going to type it. Write it up here. Hopefully this translates. But it's time, space, and grace. Time, space, and grace. Although there's not a lot of spacing between my words, I wanted to make sure you see it. Time, space, and grace sometimes can be the hardest gift to give to ourselves. Why? Why? Because we made a mistake. We messed up. We didn't do the right thing. We didn't show up when we were supposed to. And we are internally conflicted about it. And we might be beating ourselves up over it and just beating ourselves down and beating ourselves down. There's a meme that I created. It's floating around and it has a caveman with a club. And it basically says, this caveman was retired in 2017. It was just a guess of the year maybe I stopped beating myself up. But that beating yourself down, right? How many of you are doing that? Stephen Covey says it's not the mistake. It's what lingers after the mistake. It's what you do after the mistake. It's that there's the mistake And is there the lesson, or are you carrying that with you where it just keeps the emotions of what's the use anyway? I'm no good. I messed up. Who cares? I'll just mess up again and I'll just keep doing it. And then we can become unconscious, and maybe we're unconscious and we don't know it. Maybe we've just chosen to remain unconscious. Kind of like, what's the guy in the Matrix? Oh, somebody tell me the guy's character in the Matrix. Anyway, the guy, I forget his name. Is it Twitch? Switch? No. What's his name? Somebody help me. He's the guy with the mustache, and he gets put back into the Matrix. And he just wants to forget about the real world. And think about that. You know, some of us just want to remain unconscious and stay in our mistakes. When we can get out, we can give ourselves time, space, and grace to heal. Are you doing that now? Oh, boy. Okay. Don't do that to yourself. And I want to read a quote to you right here, because this, to me, is one of the keys to growing in life. This is a major key. And the reason why I'm doing this topic is because I was thinking about this, and then it spoke. It came up. It showed up. It says this: healthy introspection without undermining oneself. It is a rare gift to venture into the unexplored depths of the self with an uncorrupted gaze. That quote was said by Friedrich Nietzsche, great philosopher. It's in the unpublished writings from the period of unfashionable observations. How great of a name is that? How great of a name is that? What are you saying here? Was it a tank? Yes, on your dad. What's the tank question? Let me go back to that tank. But think about this name. I'm gonna read this quote again, because I have chills reading this quote. And by the way, share this with somebody who needs to hear this, because there's a lot of people that need to have grace with themselves. And you know many people who beat themselves up. They made a mistake, and they're just perpetuating this cycle. Healthy introspection without undermining oneself. It is a rare gift to venture into the unexplored depths of the self with an uncorrupted gaze. And I love this because it says introspection without undermining, and then it's the rare. It's the unexplored depths of the self with an uncorrupted gaze. Uncorrupted. And I would add grace to this, but I love the name of this: Friedrich Nietzsche, the unpublished writings from the period of unfashionable observations. Isn't that think about the crafty use of language there. Unfashionable observations. It's almost if to say it wasn't popular. It wasn't acceptable. You couldn't bring it. If you were to bring it, you would be looked at. It's almost like wearing a pink polka dot jumpsuit, in the middle of a public square. It wouldn't fit. But yet, when you read it, it's timeless. Absolutely timeless. And think about this for yourself today. Let me just grab this. Mandy's sharing here, major key: healthy introspection without undermining oneself is a rare gift to venture into the unexplored gifts of the self. And I would add grace, because this is the journey that a lot of people won't take. Because think about this: if I flip the mirror, I'm afraid of what I'm going to see. And that's why in a coaching relationship, it's better to, and if I can find that meme, I'll share it. Become an observationalist, if that's a word I just made up. Be the observer. And sometimes you need to kind of separate and say, okay, if I was an inspector or an FBI agent, and my job is to get all the information. I'm not making any judgments here. I'm just observing from I'm observing with an uncorrupted gaze. Can we observe ourselves with an uncorrupted gaze? And And here's what happens when you do that. It's liberating. That's all I can tell you. It's the most liberating feeling that you might ever, that you or anyone that goes down this road will feel. It's pure liberation. It can be shaky at first to do this. And I want to say this is so powerful because people will live decades of their lives. They might live their entire life. It's the unexamined life. There's a quote about that too. What's that quote? And I'm going to share another bonus with you today because I think Mandy saw this. Today in history was a pretty powerful day. Let me just grab another quote for you because this is another thing that that I think you'll recognize. And so my question is, are you extending grace to yourself today? Have you been beating yourself up? And here we go back to the Stoic period. I should have known. The unexamined life is not worth living. Socrates. Wow. Doesn't that just hit home? The unexamined life is not worth living. Last night, I sat down. I reviewed the day. Examine. What did you do? Imagine, 20, 30 years from now, 40, whatever it is, 50, 60, whatever. Somebody finds your journals. What do they see? Let them see an examined conscious life that was lived from the heart. Let them see a person who lived in the world but wasn't of the world. Let them see a person who served the world despite the world. Let them find that person. Let me share with you today in history. Sir Edmund Hillary summited Mount Everest in 1953 on this day. You may think, oh, he's gifted, he's incredible, he's amazing. He was the guy. He was the selected guy. You would be partially right. You see, Sir Edmund Hillary was not the first choice. Or I should say, he was not the first choice. Sir Edmund Hillary was a bookkeeper. Sir Edmund Hillary just kept showing up. He just kept showing up, put himself in the right situation, and here's what happened. I'm going to read this. This is from history.com. And by the way, it's important to note that this was attempted back in the 20s. And Mallory was another gentleman who made a couple summit attempts and died. And they don't know if he summited or not. They did find him back in 1999, and his body was unbelievably, what's the word I'm looking for? His body was in good shape. It wasn't decomposed. I can't think of the word. But anyway, so here's what happened. Let me read this. All right, so there's another gentleman. Let's see. Setting up a series of camps. They set up a series of camps. By the way, this is the British expedition team when the Nepal opened up their borders again after the war. Preserved. Thank you very much, Mandy. His body was preserved because he was up in cold climates, and pretty amazing. So the British make an attempt for Mount Everest. It's a team. It's a team of people that are making this attempt. Let me see if I can grab this here. I just had it here. Shocked by their success. Swiss. Okay. So organized. So the British organized a large British expedition was organized for 1953 under the command of Colonel John Hunt. In addition to the best British climbers and such highly experienced Sherpas as Tenzing Norgay, the expedition enlisted talent from the British Commonwealth, such as New Zealanders George Low and Edmund Hillary. The latter, who worked as a bookkeeper when not climbing mountains. So he's a bookkeeper, okay? Think about this, who climbs mountains. Members of the expedition were equipped with insulated boots, special radio equipment, and oxygen systems. They set up a series of camps. They forged a new passage up the Khumbu Icefall, okay? And then here's what happens. They get up there, and on the Lao-Tzu face, it's called, and the South Col, at about 26,000 feet on May 26th. So they do all this setup. The first person to go up is not Edmund Hillary. It's a gentleman by the name of Charles Evans. Now, nobody knows Charles Evans. Charles Evans and Tom Bourdillon launched their first assault on the summit and came within 300 feet of the top of Everest before having to turn back because one of their oxygen sets was malfunctioning. Had that been different, you may have never heard the name Edmund Hillary. So the first attempt was not Edmund Hillary. It was this gentleman and their oxygen malfunctions. 2 days later, on May 28th, Tenzing and Hillary set out, setting up a high camp at 27,900 feet. After a freezing, sleepless night, the pair plodded on, reaching the south summit at 9 a.m. Okay, hold on. That's not the summit. It's the south summit, and there's a steep, rocky step, some 40 foot high, about an hour later. Wedging himself in the crack in the face, Hillary inched himself up what was thereafter known as the Hillary Step. Hillary threw down a rope and Norgay followed. At about 11:30 a.m., the climbers arrived at the top of the world. And by the way, this is over 29,000 feet. This is where jet airliners fly, just to give this some perspective. News of the success was rushed by a runner from Expedition Base Camp to the radio, and they sent a coded message to London and then sent a coded message where the Queen Elizabeth II learned from the achievement on June 1st, the eve of her coronation. The next day, news broke around the world. Later that year, Hillary and Hunt were knighted by the Queen. Norgay, because he was not a citizen of Commonwealth nation, received the Lesser British Imperial Medal. Yes, helicopters cannot fly over Mount Everest. It would be devastating. They can't even do it. So there's a lot to take from this today. Give yourself time, space, and grace. Be able to look at yourself. Be the rare one who looks at yourself with an uncorrupted gaze from a state of love, maybe as the observer. Maybe you need some time and stillness to do that. Maybe you just need to sit and sit with this and really practice this, because most people are beating themselves up. Take the time, as Nietzsche said, look at yourself with an uncorrupted gaze. And think about Sir Edmund Hillary. Think about this. Think about when you just keep showing up with a passion in your heart for what it is that you love to do. You know, Edmund Hillary loved to climb. He was a bookkeeper, but he just kept showing up. And here you go. The lead guy doesn't make it, has an oxygen malfunction. And guess who's in a perfect spot? Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. And on 1953, on this day at 11:30, they took the summit of Mount Everest. Just keep showing up, my friend, in spite of yourself, in spite of the mistakes. When you make the mistake, learn and move on. Don't carry it with you. Don't measure it against your self-worth. You're so incredible. You just don't give yourself enough credit for it. So this is Meet Me on the Balcony. Let me give you a quick update. So let me share a couple things because I'm making this a little longer today because I will do something else. Let me share with you the balcony because it wouldn't be Meet Me on the Balcony without the balcony. Okay. There it is. It's raining. Got the trees full green. Beautiful. So meet me on the, meet me in the morning. I'm taking a road trip to South Carolina. I'm leaving tomorrow morning. I will do my best to grab some video for you. I'll see what inspirational places, faces, and traces I can find along the way. I do have something special lined up, which I'm not going to tell you now, but it has to do with relationships, because we're going to be talking more about that too as we move forward. I want to be cultivating that for us, better relationships. And I want you to join me at Flashpoint Live 3.0 with Mandy, Jenna, and let me share. I think I got some video here I'm going to share. Yeah, let's share. Let's share this one. I like this one. Here we go. I like this one.
He explains things in a way that I've never heard before, so it helps us to have an open mind and look at things differently than we're used to looking at them. Austin J. Haynes event Flashpoint has really transformed my life.
It's just remarkable to be with people that are uplifting, and it's dreary out, and it's fabulous to be here with great people.
Some of the different exercises we did made me feel liberated and break through some things that I needed to break through, and actually some things I realized about myself that I did not realize about. So it's been amazing.
It was an honor and a privilege to learn from you.
You have an opportunity to come to an Austin J. Haynes event, don't hesitate.
That's Flashpoint Live 3.0 coming July 9th, 10th, and 11th. We got a complimentary ticket. We got VIP tickets. We're giving away the basket. Do I have the basket here to show you? I don't know if I have the basket. I do not, but I will get that. And I just want to hear any final shares. If you're getting this live playback, what did you get from this? You know, what's your takeaway? What's going to be different now because you listen to this? Because it's maybe it's entertainment, maybe it's some inspiration, but what are you going to take with you? Because that's what matters to me. Like, what is it that you walk away with? You know, what changes because you were here? What in your life transforms, transmutes? Maybe you take this energy of this old energy and you transmute it into something positive, where before it just kept knocking you down. But now you transmute it and you take a new step in a new bold direction for yourself. And you were meant to live life, and I just want you to live life more fully, really. Get free, stay present, move forward. So live playback, type something in that moved you, meant something to you. And if you know somebody that would benefit from this, please share it with them. You don't have to share it on a wall. Send it to them in Messenger. There's a lot of people that are hard on themselves because they made mistakes in the past. And they need to know that life still goes on and that there's still great things for them to do despite the mistake. You're not the mistake. The mistake is something that maybe happened at an earlier stage in your development. You didn't know any better. You did the best you could at the time. And now it's time for you to start to see things better. Start to see things better. The sun's out right now, but we can't see it because it's cloudy, but the sun is there. And the sun and the light is inside of you, even if you made a mistake that's covering it up. Thank you, Mandy. Appreciate you very much. For me, it's reaffirming I've transcended time, space, and grace. Deeply grateful. Yeah. The mistake does not define you. No, it doesn't. It does not. I say whatever, everything, I look at it this way. Everything is energy in the body. All kind of the stimulus all creates energy in our body, but it's the awareness that can transmute it into something good. And if you're unaware and you're not conscious, you can transmute it into something bad. So when these feelings of inferiority come up, through your awareness and observation, you can begin to choose to turn that into what I say, clean burning fuel, something that's going to move you and yourself, move you and others forward. All right. God bless you. Have a fantastic day. This concludes Meet Me on the Balcony. It's a rainy day, but maybe that's exactly the way it's supposed to be. Think about the rain as a cleanse, as a washing away, as a symbol of grace, as a symbol of washing clean. And let's make today a fantastic day. Bye for now.